Officer Brandon Pitcher spends a good portion of his day behind the wheel. Not always driving, but watching us drive.
I'll stop that white car. Good afternoon, I'm Officer Pitcher of the Lexington Police Department. I stopped for going 67 and a 55.
This is just one of many traffic stops in the 5 years Officer Pitcher's been with the city's traffic unit. He's dealt with excuses, even flat-out lies from folks trying to get out of a ticket. He's also dealt with worse.
I've stopped them where they're stolen vehicles. I've just stopped them for regular speeding citation. I stopped them for speeding in their DUI. You never know what you're going to walk up to.
What we do know, thanks to an open records request we filed with the Lexington Police Department, officers here wrote 13,000 speeding tickets in 2019. Not surprisingly, more than a third of those were written on News Circle, and a good chunk of that near Old Frankfort Pike. Other hot spots include this 4-mile stretch of I-64, Paris Pike just north of the interstate, I-75 near the Clays Ferry Bridge, and Versailles Road.
It's a stretch of the roadway where I've worked fatal wrecks on due to speed.
In fact, that's a popular spot you might find Officer Pitcher on a given day.
On the side of the roadway, you can kind of pull back a little bit. So we'll go up here and turn around.
We rode along with him on an overcast Thursday afternoon.
Here, I'll show you how this works. If you want to look through there,
and in the hour we spent together, it didn't take long at all to find drivers pushing the limits.
73.
It's their lucky day.
It's their lucky day is right.
Because I'm with you.
Because you're with me. It's their lucky day.
This might be a good time to tell you Officer Pitcher was the Lexington Police Department's top ticket writer in 2019. By himself, he wrote nearly 1,000 speeding tickets last year. The reason he's so diligent about it, he's seen far too many serious crashes, deadly crashes, preventable crashes.
I've seen firsthand what speed does, so if I can hand someone a citation to remind them, hey, slow down, who knows, it may save their life down the road, which I'm hoping it would.
Not everyone driving fast gets pulled over.
It just depends on where I'm at. There's some, like I said, neighborhoods, usually I'll be anywhere from 5 to 10, usually on the interstate, around 15, New Circle around 15. And you can still write until your hand falls off.
There's often a little wiggle room, and the statistics show that. More than 80% of speeding tickets Lexington police wrote last year were for drivers going at least 15 over the limit.
616 traffic stop.
Which brings us back here.
Be inbound Versailles, just prior to Old Clubhouse.
Just because Officer Pitcher has written the most doesn't mean he always does.
She doesn't have any priors on her driving record. She's got a clean driving record.
So at least this time, the driver gets by with just a warning. Either way, the goal...
We get a lot of bad wrecks on this roadway, so we're just trying to slow people down. Other than that, you're good to go. You all be careful. Bye-bye.
Hey, it's Kristen. So we had talked about doing...
For the last couple months, we've been sharing stories about how COVID-19 is impacting Kentucky families. But there's one family story we haven't yet shared. Ours.
What do you want to do? You guys want to go outside and play?
Yes.
Okay, let's go out. Come on. Come on, Kingston, let's go.
We're working from home, working opposite shifts, and raising kids.
Yeah, we usually do try to come outside as much as possible because Kristen's inside.
So do you just want me to do the top counties?
Ready? During the morning hours, I'm in charge of our kids, Meg and Kingston,
I was going to show you the overall one.
while Kristen is working. Whoa, big hit! And we can't really be that quiet when we're inside. Okay, you can play whatever you want to play. Well, John Calipari is not the only coach on the UK.
And during the evenings, I'm in charge, while Lee K puts together the evening sportscast.
Just because we pull it off day in and day out
Doesn't mean it doesn't have its moments. Kind of hard to forget that you're working from home.
Here, let me wash it off first. Okay. And when you're here, you go by mom and dad.
A little hectic.
Do you want me to cut it up?
We're about 20 minutes away from the 12 o'clock show, and it's prime lunchtime, and it's prime mom work time.
You want more apple? Okay, I'll give you an apple. Kristen is the cook in the house, and I am not. Grilled cheese and pizza and peanut butter and jelly sandwich are about the height of my cooking abilities.
This is our 6th week working from home, so we're starting week 7 Monday.
Apple.
6 weeks working from home. What do you want? Instead of making you dinner,
Maggie, come in here.
you can go eat.
Hey, Mag.
See what I mean? Go help Dad make grilled cheese.
There's only one time of the day where kids are awake. You want apples? And someone's in the studio, and that's noon for Kristen. And luckily, we've not had an instance where one of them ran into the room. I'm sure their talks or screams have made there before. Just tell us when you want us to be quiet.
Okay, probably about 30 seconds away.
Okay, guys. Let me cut this up for you too.
That's good news as we're looking
anybody need
to
more
ease
grapes?
more restrictions. And Kristen Kennedy is live from her home right now to report on this. Kristen, how does testing in Kentucky compare to our surrounding states?
Well, Bill, we are expecting to get some more numbers in to increase our testing when we look at Kentucky versus our neighboring states here.
It's kind of crazy to think that we're able to set up a television equivalent studio in our dining room at our home, and what viewers probably don't know is that there's actually kids about 5 to 6 feet away eating their grilled cheese sandwiches when Kristen's on the air.
There's a little hesitancy about bringing it all into the house, but I think once we figured out that we just had to convert this dining room into an office space, it made it a little more manageable for us. We've got the curtain right there, so we can kind of close it off. We can focus on work still.
Honestly, Kristen and I are really enjoying being able to spend extra time with the kids.
It was wonderful that we have the ability to work from home, to stay here, to feel like we're contributing to this Healthy at Work initiative.
I think through this whole situation that everybody's going through is a lot of businesses, including the television business, are figuring out ways that you can work from home and you can be a little bit more remote. I don't think that this is a long-term setup for us by any means, but you know, it was a necessary setup at the time, and I think it's worked out really, really well. I mean, one day we're gonna have our dining room back, but I don't think that's anytime real soon, but that's okay.
Laken Reed has always spent a lot of time in the woods, hiking, hunting, just enjoying nature. Now this is about as close as she'll get.
My life drastically changed forever. I mean, I'm going to always remember this year.
She's spending hours each week now, instead of outdoors, inside doctors' offices, dealing with chronic issues she believes could have been avoided.
I mean, I was absolutely terrified. And then it just got to the point where I was so sick that being scared wasn't even an option anymore.
Reed says she's been diagnosed with Lyme disease and Rocky Mountain spotted fever. Both are caused by ticks, but it took time for Reed to get the right treatment because of confusion over what her symptoms showed. Advocates say she's not the only one.
We're having patients that were tested several times for COVID and then later on finding that it was actually Lyme disease. And this is happening too much.
The problem is initial symptoms can be similar. For Reed, shortness of breath, headache, fever, chills.
That sounds like a lot of things that we're dealing with right now, especially with COVID. A lot of these things are very difficult, very vague to identify, and especially when we're dealing in a pandemic where we're so laser focused on one single virus.
Reed says she was tested 7 times for the coronavirus and tested negative each time. The CDC says Kentucky is part of the region where RMSF and ehrlichiosis are most common. Lyme disease used to be less common here, but CDC data shows cases increasing over the years. Lyme disease is known for a bullseye rash, which could have made it easier to figure out, but not everyone gets that. Laken says she didn't, although she did eventually get a rash on her face.
I was a completely healthy person before all of this. That's what I've tried to explain to all of them. I was normal before this, and then when the tick bite happened, everything changed.
Reed thinks she was exposed to a tick while out hiking in eastern Kentucky. She knows she was bitten by another one in May. As she continues to deal with symptoms and other problems, Reed says she doesn't know what to expect now.
It's kind of scary to think about the outlook in the future, but I'm trying to get through it day by day, make adjustments to my life, and just be as healthy as I can and take every day as it comes.
Trying to keep a positive outlook from the inside looking out, hoping someday to get back to the outdoors she loves so much.